Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Surviving Narcissism Together. Okay, so in today's video we're gonna talk about narcissistic injury. So have you ever noticed narcissists explode over the smallest things, the tiniest of things? Maybe you said no to them, maybe you call them out on a lie. Maybe you didn't text back right away and suddenly they're yelling and screaming and throwing a fit and tantrums. Well, what you noticed was what we call narcissistic injuries. So, in today's video, I'm going to dive into this topic. So, a narcissistic injury is basically a wound to a narcissist's fragile ego. So, on the outside, narcissists exude confidence and that they're in control, but underneath that mask, their self-esteem it's really fragile. That's why they always need people to supply them with compliments and validity, So they're very fragile creatures. So when something challenges the false image that they're portraying, whether big or small, they experience it as a personal attack. Even if you didn't mean it that way, they perceive that as a personal attack. So what really causes the narcissistic injury is shame. Narcissists, you have to remember that narcissists, they really do have unresolved shame from childhood. And they build this false sense of persona to cover it up. That's why they depend on constant validation, which is what I was just talking about. Which we refer to as narcissistic supply, right? They get that from the narcissistic supply. So when they don't get supply, or when someone pokes a hole in their image, or maybe you held them accountable for a lie, the shame underneath starts rushing back. And essentially, that's the injury. So, narcissistic injury can look like a lot of things. Maybe there's a sudden shift in their mood. I experienced this from my mom a lot. When I held her accountable for her lies, she'd go from very calm and charming to very angry and cold and distant, and she would be yelling. It was so bad. She would throw such tantrums. She'd even show signs of like passive aggressive behaviors. So she'd just cut me off, give me the cold shoulder, ignore me. It didn't feel nice. So it was just like, how could you go from 0 to 100 so quickly? How could you do that switch? It could also look like defensive and blaming you. So they would deny any responsibility and maybe shift the blame on you. You'd often hear things like you're overreacting or you're the problem, because they don't want to be held accountable, right? They could also overreact to really small things. So maybe an innocent comment you made or a mild disagreement would feel like a personal attack to them, and they might explode or act deeply offended. And you're there wondering, how did we reach to this stage? And a lot of the times they also portray vindictive behaviors, which is where they attempt to get back at you or sabotage you or guilt trip you as a form of punishment. So these reactions are just a few examples of what a narcissistic injury could look like. They aren't random, because these are reactions, and it's their defense mechanisms that would protect their fragile ego, and it's to punish you for reminding them of that shame. The thing with narcissistic injuries is that once you recognize them, you're gonna stop blaming yourself. These extreme reactions make you think that you're in the wrong, that you're bad, that maybe your feelings aren't valid. So the narcissist, these creatures, they're really unable to handle reality. That's why they wear so many masks, right? So, understanding this makes you less reactive and more empowered to protect your peace. Because remember, guys, the way to deal with narcissists is not by reacting at all. And the more you get educated on these topics, the less you will react and will win the game. I promise that. So the next time you see a narcissist blow up over something really small, remember, it's not about you, it's about their fragile ego. Remember, guys, knowledge is power. So by understanding narcissistic injury, you're able to take your power back. Alright, so in my next video, I'm gonna explain 5 ways in which you can cause narcissistic injury on these creatures. Alright, so remember, healing takes time, but we're not just moving from victims to survivors, but also victors. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.